awake again. Not at the start of the night when you expected to be, but here, in this strange middle place, sometime around 3 a.m., or close enough that it feels like it. You can tell without even looking at a clock that the night is more than halfway gone. You know you were sleeping. There was a before, when you were under, and now there's this. Eyes open, mind lit up, body caught in between. Maybe you're staring into the dark. Maybe your eyes are closed, but your thoughts are bright and busy, running circles that feel too fast for this hour. It might be quiet around you. The house, or the apartment, or the room has settled into its own kind of stillness. Pipes and fridges and distant cars doing what they always do. And there you are, alone with a mind that didn't get the message that it's the middle of the night. Maybe you've already tried a few things, changing positions, checking the time, even though you knew it might make you more awake. Telling yourself not to think about tomorrow, and then thinking about tomorrow anyway. And maybe, as you pressed play, there was a little mix of hope and doubt. A thought like, I really need this to work, sitting right next to. Nothing else has helped. If that's there, that's okay. You don't have to pretend you're calm when you're not. Here's the thing. You made it here. You reached for something kinder than just lying in the dark, fighting with your own head. That's not small. That's you choosing to take care of yourself in the middle of the night, when it would be easier to give up and scroll, or worry, or stare at the ceiling. You don't need to be good at relaxing. You don't need to know how to meditate, or visualize, or do anything in particular. Right now, you're already doing the only job you have, lying here, listening, letting someone else carry the next few steps. So let's be clear about how this works. You're not here to perform. There's no right way to listen, and nothing to keep up with. If your mind drifts away from the words, that's completely fine. The words will keep going without you needing to follow everyone. If you stay awake for a while, but feel a little less tangled inside, that counts. If you miss whole parts because you slipped under, that counts too. You don't have to feel a certain way or reach some special state. This is here to keep you company while your system remembers how to settle itself. For now, you can let go of checking whether it's working. You've done enough checking tonight. You've checked the time, checked your thoughts, checked how tired you'll be tomorrow. This space is the opposite of that. Nothing to monitor, nothing to measure. Here, just here. That's the whole thing. You, in this bed, in this body, in this moment of the night. Everything else can be background for a while. We'll start with what's real and close and simple. Notice the surface underneath you, the mattress holding your weight, the way it pushes back just enough. Maybe there's a dip where your body usually rests, the familiar shape of where you always end up. You don't have to move. Just notice how the bed is already doing the work of holding you up. Feel the pull of gravity, steady and patient. Your back, or your side, or your stomach meeting the bed. The heavier parts of you sinking a little deeper. The lighter parts resting on top, like they're gently stacked. There's fabric touching your skin somewhere. Sheets, blanket, maybe the edge of a shirt or the band of something soft. You can sense the difference between where your skin is covered and where it meets the air. Cooler in some places, warmer in others. The air itself has a temperature. Maybe it's a little cool on your face or on your hands if they're outside the covers. Maybe the room is warm and still and the air feels quiet against your skin. You don't have to like it or change it. Just notice that it's there. Your head is resting on something. A pillow, or your arm, or the curve of the mattress. Feel the shape of that support, the way it holds the weight of your skull, the small adjustments your neck makes without you even thinking about it. Some part of you might still be holding the day. Your jaw, maybe, your shoulders, or your stomach. If those places feel tight or busy, that's all right. They're just a little late to the message that the day is over. Bring your attention gently to your jaw. Not to force it to relax, just to say, I see you. Notice if your teeth are touching, or if there's a bit of space. Notice the way your tongue is resting, heavy or light. Then your shoulders. You don't need to roll them or stretch them. Just feel where they meet the bed, or the pillow, or the air. They might still be braced for something, as if they're waiting for the next thing to handle. It's been a long one. You can feel that, even if you can't put words to why. The day leaves traces, in the muscles, in the breath, in the way thoughts keep replaying old scenes or rehearsing new ones. You don't have to sort any of that out right now. Notice your breath wherever it's easiest to feel. Maybe at the tip of your nose, the coolness as air comes in, the slight warmth as it goes out. Maybe in your chest, the subtle lift and fall. Maybe in your belly, moving a little with each inhale, each exhale. You don't need to deepen it or slow it down. It's already happening on its own, even when you're not paying attention. Right now, you're just watching what your body is already doing. In and out. In and out. A quiet rhythm that's been with you all day and all night. The walls around you are holding their shape. The door is closed, or partly closed, exactly how you left it. Whatever needed to be done today has already been done, or set aside. Whatever is left will still be there in the morning, when your mind is built for it again. If thoughts keep coming, that's normal. They might be about tomorrow, or something you said, or something you wish you'd done differently. You don't have to push them away. You can let them drift in and out while the rest of you stays here, with the feel of the bed and the sound of this voice. Think of your thoughts like cars passing on a distant road. You can hear that they're there, but you don't need to chase any of them. They come into awareness and then they move on. Meanwhile, your body stays exactly where it is, heavy and supported. Some parts of you may already be a little quieter than when you pressed play. Maybe your eyes feel heavier, or your limbs feel just a bit more settled. Maybe nothing feels different yet, and that's okay too. Change at this hour can be slow and subtle, like the way the sky shifts before dawn. For now, the night doesn't need anything from you. No decisions, no problem solving, no planning. The only thing asked of you is to keep lying here, breathing, and letting these words wash past, whether you catch them or not. As we go on, the pace will keep softening. The words will become less important to follow. You can drift in and out like listening to a story half asleep. There is nowhere else you have to be. Right here, in this bed, at this hour, is enough. Your body knows more about rest than your thoughts do. We're just giving it a little time and a gentle, steady presence so it can remember what to do next. And if at some point you stop hearing the words, that will be perfectly all right. The air around you carries a soft, indoor quiet, a kind of hush that belongs to the middle of the night. Imagine yourself standing in a long hallway, not a cold, echoing place, but a gentle night hallway inside a quiet home. The walls rise on either side of you. They are close enough to feel present, far enough that you have room to breathe. Their surfaces are smooth, maybe painted in a calm, muted color you do not have to name. They hold the darkness in a soft way, not heavy, just dim and kind. Above you, a ceiling stretches the length of this hallway. It keeps the world outside where it is. It keeps the night air steady. You stand beneath it the way you lie beneath your own ceiling now, held by its steady, unmoving presence. The floor under your feet is solid. You might imagine bare feet on cool wood, or the gentle give of a runner beneath you. Whatever you feel, it is steady, unmoving, supporting your whole weight without effort. Like the mattress under you now, it carries you without asking anything in return. A soft, indirect light lives here in the hallway. Not bright, not harsh. Maybe it comes from a small lamp at the far end, or from a nightlight near the floor, or from a door left slightly open. It brushes the walls and the floor and leaves corners in a quiet shadow. Your body stands in this hallway and at the same time rests where it is in your bed. The two experiences can overlap. The weight of your head on the pillow is the same as the weight of your head, balanced gently above your shoulders here. The heaviness of your limbs against the mattress is the same as the heaviness of your arms hanging by your sides in this night corridor. Notice how the air feels on your skin. Inside this hallway, the air is neither too warm nor too cool. It has that middle-of-the-night stillness when heating and cooling systems have settled, when doors are closed, when windows are quiet. There is a faint, familiar scent in the air, like clean fabric or wood, or the subtle trace of soap from earlier in the evening. Your breath moves through this space. Each inhale is like walking a few slow steps down the hallway. Each exhale is like pausing, leaning gently back against the wall and resting. You do not actually need to move anywhere. The sense of motion is inside your chest, in the rise and fall that continues whether you think about it or not. The walls of this hallway do something simple and kind. They keep things out, They keep the night weather outside, the streets, the sky, the wide world. In here, the sounds are softened. A distant car becomes a faint, cotton-wrapped hum. A pipe settling in the building becomes a small, familiar creak in the background. Everything that reaches you has passed through these layers of wall and door and fabric. If you like, imagine reaching one hand out to the nearest wall. Your fingers meet a cool, smooth surface. Maybe there is the slightest texture, the brush of paint under your fingertips. The wall does not move. It receives your touch and gives you something to lean on, even if you only lean in your mind. Now feel the surfaces that actually touch your body. The sheet under your hand, the blanket against your legs, the pillow cupping the back of your head. These are the soft walls of your own small hallway in the bed. They outline the space where your body rests, the way the hallway walls outline the space where you stand. In this night corridor, there are doors along the sides, closed doors, each one quiet. They do not need to open. They simply stand there, solid and still, like promises that whatever is behind them can wait. You might picture the thin line of light under one of them, a faint glow that does not reach your eyes fully, only suggests that life exists elsewhere, far from this resting place. Your shoulders can soften here. Imagine them lowering by a fraction, as if you had been holding yourself upright all day in bright, busy rooms, and now the hallway's stillness invites them to drop. The muscles along your neck no longer need to scan or turn or respond. They can be like coats hanging on a hook by the door, their weight supported, their shape relaxed. Take a slow breath in, as if you are filling the length of this hallway with air. Then exhale, as if the air is flowing gently back out, down toward your feet, into the floor, into the mattress beneath you. With each breath, the hallway becomes a little quieter, not emptier, just more settled, like a house that has finally gone to sleep. Somewhere in this hallway, perhaps there is a small table along the wall. On it, a lamp with a shade that softens the light into a warm pool. Maybe there is a book resting there, or a folded blanket, or nothing at all. The table does not call for attention. It simply adds to the feeling that this is a lived-in, cared-for space. Your hands, wherever they are resting now, have their own quiet gravity. In the hallway, they hang at your sides, fingers naturally curved, palms facing in. In the bed, they sink into the fabric or rest lightly on your body. Either way, they are not reaching for anything. They are not holding on to anything. They are like objects set down on a hallway shelf for the night, no longer in use. The air in this corridor has a temperature that matches your skin more closely now. Around your ankles and wrists, you might sense the faintest coolness. Around your torso and under the blanket, there is a deeper warmth, like the warm pocket of air that gathers at the end of a hallway where no draft reaches. This gentle difference between warm and cool helps your body know where it is, where the edges of you meet the world. If a thought appears, imagine it as a small footstep at the far end of the hallway. You hear it, soft against the floor. You can tell it is there. And then it moves on, past one closed door, past another, until the sound fades into the general quiet of the house. You do not need to follow it. You are already where you need to be, in this still place between walls. Feel the length of your body as if it were the length of the hallway itself. Your head is one end, your feet the other. Between them, a straight supported line. The mattress is the floor, firm and dependable. The blankets are the air, warm and close. Your skin is like the painted wall, containing everything inside with a gentle boundary. Here, in this night hallway, time feels different. Clocks may exist in other rooms, but their numbers and hands do not reach you. What you have instead are slower markers, the way your chest rises and settles, the way your jaw loosens a little more with each exhale, the way your eyelids grow heavier, as if the dim light in the hallway is dimming further, one small degree at a time. If you like, picture yourself leaning your back against one of the walls. The surface is cool and firm. It supports you from behind so that you can let your weight rest into it. Your spine meets it in a long, gentle line. Your legs feel the floor, but they do not have to work. You could stay like this for as long as you wish, held between wall and floor, between ceiling and quiet air. Now translate that feeling back into your bed. The mattress is the wall behind you. The pillow is the part of the wall that curves to meet the back of your head. The blankets are the air in front of you, soft and close, wrapping the front of your body in warmth. You are cradled inside your own small architecture, a room within a room, a hallway within a home. The sounds around you now can belong to this imagined house. Any faint noise is simply the building settling, the way houses do at night. A small click, a soft hum, a distant murmur. All of it becomes part of the background, like the far end of the hallway that you can no longer see clearly in the dim light. Your face can smooth here. The tiny muscles around your eyes, around your mouth, across your forehead can soften, as if the light itself was smoothing them out. No one is looking down this hallway. No one is asking anything of you. The walls are the only witnesses, and they are quiet, steady, unchanging. As you breathe, imagine the hallway gently narrowing, not in a tight way, but in a cozy way. The walls come just a little closer, enough that you could touch both sides with your fingertips if you wanted. This narrowing is like the feeling of your awareness drawing in from the edges, from the distant doors, from the far end of the corridor, back toward the center, back toward the simple sensation of lying here. The length of the hallway does not matter anymore. What matters is this small section where you are, the patch of floor under your feet, the piece of wall at your back, the pocket of air around your shoulders and chest, the piece of mattress under your ribs and hips. Everything beyond that can blur. Doors can fade into shadow. The lamp can dim further. Even the color of the walls can drift into something softer, something your mind does not need to define. You are here in this indoor sanctuary of night, held by walls, by ceiling, by floor, held by fabric, by pillow, by the weight of your own body resting. Each breath is another slow step deeper into this quiet hallway until there is nothing left to do but stand and feel and sink into the stillness that has been here all along. The weight of your body has found its place again. Your head, your shoulders, your hips, your heels. Everything that needed to land has landed. Around you, imagine the quiet shape of a doorway. Not a doorway you have to walk through. Just the simple idea of an entrance and an exit. The place where outside becomes inside. Feel the way your back rests against the mattress, like a hallway that ends in a soft wall. No more distance to travel. The journey of this day has stopped right here, where your body meets the bed. In your mind, you arrive at a front door. The day has been carrying you, and now it has brought you here. Your hand is on an invisible handle. The air on one side is cooler, moving, busy. The air on your side is still. Sense the way the fabric under you receives your weight. Like a floor just inside that door, taking your steps, then your pause, then your stillness. Nothing in it resists you. It simply bears you quietly. Imagine you are just stepping in from outside. Shoes still on, keys still in your hand, the faint trace of the world on your skin. And then, slowly, you set things down, one by one, without hurry. Start with your feet. Feel where your heels meet the mattress or the pillow or the blanket, as if you were slipping off your shoes at that doorway. The slight unhooking of effort in your ankles, the soft release in the arches. Then your legs. They have been carrying the weight of your day, even in small ways. Picture yourself placing a heavy bag just inside that door, the strap sliding from your shoulder. Your thighs, your knees, your calves do the same. They hand over their weight to the bed. Your hands are like keys set down in a familiar bowl. Notice where they rest. Fingers, palms, knuckles. They no longer need to reach for anything. They can simply lie there, the way keys lie still once the door is closed. Across your chest and belly, feel the gentle rise and fall. This is the hallway air, changing as you walk in, then settling. Each breath is like crossing that short distance from the outside world to the inside room. With every exhale, you move one step further in. Imagine the door behind you still open for a moment. Cooler air from the day brushes at your back. Distant sounds hover there, like traffic down the street, voices far away, the faint clatter of dishes in some other kitchen. They do not come in. They stay on the other side. Notice the temperature of the air around your face. Maybe there is a slight coolness on your cheeks, a stillness near your lips. This is the air of the room you have entered. Quieter, closer, more contained. Now, in your mind, feel your hand press the door gently. You do not slam it. You simply ease it toward the frame. The soft click is not a sound you hear, but a feeling in your body. As that door moves, your shoulders respond. They drop a little deeper into the mattress, like a coat slipping from your shoulders and landing on a hook by the entrance. The muscles across your upper back no longer need to hold you upright. They can spread and rest. Your jaw is another small doorway. The day moves through it when you speak, when you chew, when you hold words back. Now, let it be like a door that has been gently pulled to. Lips resting against each other, tongue heavy and quiet. Teeth not pressed, just near. Imagine the light just inside that home. Not bright, a hallway lamp, or the glow from another room. Soft, indirect. This is the kind of light that does not ask anything of your eyes. Your eyelids are like curtains already drawn. Behind them, the world of today has dimmed. You are not shutting anything out with force. You are simply choosing the room where you will stay. Feel the outline of your body the way a house feels its walls. Arms along your sides or folded where they are. Legs stretched or bent. Every part of you has a place, the way furniture has its place in a familiar room. If any sound reaches you now, treat it like something happening out in the street beyond that closed door. A car passing, a voice calling. It brushes against the outside of your walls, then moves on. Inside, the quiet is thicker. It has texture, like the softness of a rug under bare feet, or the worn smoothness of a handrail you have held 1,000 times. This is the quiet you are in. Bring your attention to where your body meets the bed most strongly. Your hips, your ribs, the back of your head. These are like the solid points where the house meets the ground. Foundations, steady and unchanging. With each exhale, imagine dust from the day drifting off you, the way it might fall from your coat as you hang it near the door. Little bits of effort, tiny pieces of concern. They settle away from you, into the fabric, into the darkness under the bed, into the corners of the room where you do not need to look. Your breath continues its slow walk from the entrance into the deeper rooms, in through the doorway, out into the soft interior, in again, like the faint swing of a door on well-oiled hinges, out as it comes to rest. There is nothing you have forgotten to bring inside. If some thought taps at the back of your mind, like someone knocking once at that closed door, you can notice it. You can know it is there, and you can leave it on the porch for now. Feel how the blankets, or the sheet, or the air itself create a kind of small enclosed space around you, like the walls of a familiar room, close enough to feel, far enough not to press. They mark the edge of where you are. They say quietly, "This is inside." Your spine rests along the mattress like a hallway runner, laid down the length of the house. Each vertebra, each small curve is supported. There is no gap the bed does not try to fill. No place along your back that has to hold itself up. Your neck is like the last latch on that door. Sometimes it stays tense, as if listening for one more call from outside. Now see if it can soften even a little. As though you turned the lock with a gentle click and the door no longer needs to be held. Across your shoulders, imagine the weight of a bag you have carried all day. Groceries, work, conversations, decisions. Feel yourself taking the strap in your hand, sliding it off, and setting that bag down just inside the door. You do not need to unpack it now. It can wait there, untouched, until morning. Your thoughts may still move, like the faint hum of a refrigerator in the next room, or the soft ticking of a clock on a distant wall. They belong to the house, but they are not in your way. They continue in the background, steady and unimportant. Here, in this interior space, your only task is to rest in the room you have chosen. The room of your body, the room of your breath, the room of this bed. If a worry tries to follow you in, picture it standing just beyond the threshold. The door is closed now. It might pace a little on the front step, but it cannot cross. The wood, the frame, the lock all hold. Your skin feels the difference. Outside air is sharper, moving, carrying the smell of the day. Inside, air is softer, slower, with the faint warmth of your own breathing building around you. This is the air you are in now. Notice the small pockets of warmth your body has already created. Under your knees, beneath your lower back, in the curve where your hand rests against your side, or the blanket. These are like quiet rooms in the house where the heat has gathered. Every exhale is like turning off one more light. The kitchen light of planning, the hallway light of remembering, the porch light of watching what might come. One by one they click off, until only the softest glow remains deep inside. You do not have to push anything away. You are simply on the inside now. The door of the day has closed behind you. The handle is out of reach, and that is all right. Your body is the still room at the center of this small home. Walls around you, a floor beneath you, a ceiling of darkness above. Nothing is required of you here. You can stay exactly as you are. Breath moving in and out like a quiet draft under the door. Thoughts fading like footsteps down the street, further and further away. For now, the day remains on the other side. Bags set down, keys resting, door closed, and you, deep inside your own quiet rooms, are simply lying here, held by the bed, wrapped in the hush of this interior night. Each exhale settles a little more, like a light turning down a notch. The space behind your closed eyes is already dim, almost like a room at night where someone has started to lower the lights. Not all at once, just a gentle softening. Imagine your mind as a long, quiet hallway. Along the walls, small lanterns hang at even intervals. Each lantern is a thought that stayed bright when you woke, each one casting its own little pool of light. Feel the air moving in through your nose, cooler on the way in, warmer on the way out. With every breath, You walk a few slow steps down that hallway, bare feet on smooth floor, steady, unhurried. Some lanterns glow sharply, almost white. These are the thoughts that feel busy, the ones that tried to pull you fully awake. You do not have to argue with them. You can simply notice how bright they are, how much energy they give off. As you breathe in, imagine standing in front of one of those bright lanterns. It hums with light, a little too strong for this hour. On your next slow exhale, picture your hand reaching up to a small dimmer switch beside it. 2 fingers turning the light down just a fraction. Your chest rises, your chest falls. With each rise, you feel the presence of that lantern. With each fall, the glow softens, edges blurring, light slipping back into shadow. Somewhere in your body, there is a place that still feels a bit lit up. Maybe behind your forehead, maybe in your throat or your chest. A place that feels like a bright bulb left on. Bring your awareness there, not to fix it, just to see it clearly. Imagine that spot as another lantern, hanging quietly in the hallway of your mind. Its light is steady, but stronger than it needs to be at this time of night. Inhale slowly, as if you are walking closer to it. Exhale slowly, as if your hand finds the dimmer again. Turn it down one small step with the breath out. Not dark, just softer. Notice your jaw, the weight of it. If there is any tightness, any clenching, picture a tiny candle sitting just inside the hinge of each jaw. Those candles burn with a thin, tense flame. As you breathe out, imagine gently cupping each candle with your hand, not snuffing it, just shielding it so less air reaches the flame. The fire draws in, becomes smaller, more rounded. The muscles of your jaw respond, loosening by a degree you can almost feel. Your tongue can rest a little heavier now. Let it lie flat and wide. Behind that simple shift, sense another little dimmer switch, the one that controls the urge to speak, to plan, to rehearse. With the next exhale, picture turning that switch down. Words fade like light at the edges of a room. Sentences that wanted to form simply lose their brightness. They are still there if needed, but they no longer push forward. Move your attention behind your eyes, that quiet, dark space. If there is any flicker there, any leftover brightness, see it as a row of tiny candles on a shelf. Each candle is a thought trying to stay awake. Breathe in, feeling the coolness at the tip of your nose. Breathe out, feeling warmth spread through your face. With each out-breath, imagine a glass shade sliding gently down over those candles. The flames stay, but their glow is softened, turned to a muted amber. Your shoulders carry their own kind of light. Sometimes it feels like a harsh overhead bulb, buzzing with the effort of holding things up. Sense your shoulders as 2 lanterns resting on either side of your neck, their handles hooked gently over your collarbones. On the inhale, feel how they rise, almost imperceptibly with the air filling your lungs. On the exhale, Imagine those lanterns being set down, the handles slipping free, the light inside them dropping from bright white to a deep, warm gold. As they dim, your shoulders sink a little closer to the mattress. The muscles across your upper back uncoil, like cords that no longer need to stay pulled tight. The fabric beneath you accepts that new weight without protest. It simply receives it, the way a shadow receives light that has softened. Move down to your chest. Inside, there might be one strong lamp shining from behind your breastbone. It could be the feeling of your heart beating. It could be a worry that stayed bright. Picture that lamp behind a frosted glass panel. On your inhale, see the glow brighten for a moment as your ribs expand. On your exhale, imagine your hand sliding the dimmer down a notch. The glow becomes less direct, more like a soft haze behind the glass. Again, inhale, light gently swelling. Exhale, the beam loosening, spreading, losing its sharpness. Your heart continues its quiet rhythm, but the light around it no longer feels like a spotlight. Now your arms, from shoulders to elbows to wrists, they may still hold a thin strip of brightness, like a line of candles on a long table, each one marking a place where muscles once worked or held or reached. As you breathe, imagine walking slowly along that table. With every exhale, you pass your hand a few inches above each candle. The air you move is enough to lower the flame. Each one curls smaller, more compact, until the whole row glows like a single low ember. Your hands themselves are resting. Notice the weight of them, the way the fingers curve naturally toward the palm, as if each fingertip holds its own tiny fading spark. Inhale, feeling the breath move all the way down to your belly. Exhale, and see those sparks dim together, like a cluster of fireflies deciding, all at once, to rest in the grass. Their light does not vanish. It just tucks itself away. Bring attention to your abdomen, the slow rise and fall, like a lantern being gently lifted and lowered by an invisible hand. On the inhale, the paper sides of the lantern expand, light inside stretching. On the exhale, the paper softens inward and the light pools at the center. If there is any tightness there, imagine it as a small, overbright bulb, one that has been left on for hours. With each out-breath, you twist it in its socket a quarter turn. The glare fades to a quiet glow, then to the barest hint of warmth. Your hips, your thighs, your knees. Sometimes they hold a kind of leftover alertness, like hallway lights left on in an empty house. See those lights, one by one, as switches along the wall of your inner hallway. You move past them with your breath. Inhale, passing the first switch. Exhale, and your fingertip presses it down. The light over your hips dims. The muscles beneath you spread a little wider, as if they have more room. Again, inhale, passing the next switch at your thighs. Exhale, and that light lowers too. Your legs feel heavier, more solid, as if sinking a fraction deeper into the mattress. Shadows gather pleasantly in the spaces between muscle and bone. Continue down to your knees, your shins, your ankles. Each breath out, another small switch. Another light turned from bright to low, from low to barely there. The hallway of your body grows softer, quieter. At your feet, imagine two small candles, one in each heel. They have worked all day to carry you. Now their flames are thin and high, a little tired, but still awake. Inhale and feel the coolness brush past your throat. Exhale, sending warmth all the way down to your heels. As that warmth arrives, the candles respond. Their flames shorten, round off, and settle into a steady, tiny glow. Now sense your whole body at once. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Every place that was once a bright light is now a dim lantern, a low candle, a softened bulb. The hallway of your mind is no longer glaring. There are still lights here. They have not gone out. They have simply been turned down to the level that suits this hour. Enough to see the path, not enough to keep you standing. Behind all these gentle glows, there is a deeper darkness. Not empty, not frightening. More like the rich shadow in the corner of a quiet room, where nothing is asked of you, where even the walls seem to rest. Stay with your breath as it moves through this dimmed space. Inhale and feel the faint shimmer of remaining light. Exhale and feel the shadows grow softer, thicker, more welcoming. Thoughts may still appear, like lanterns in the distance, but their switches are easy to find now. If any one thought flares up, too bright, too sharp, you know what to do. You approach it with a breath in, and with the breath out, your fingers find the dimmer. A gentle turn, and its glow drops back into the hush that surrounds you. Here, in this softened light, your body understands the hour. Your muscles, your breath, your mind all agree. The world can stay lit somewhere else. In here, the lanterns are low, the candles are small, and the shadows are kind. The air around you is quiet now, quieter than before, as if the room itself has taken a slow, deep breath and settled. Each inhale draws you a little further inward. Each exhale softens the edges of everything. Inside this stillness, imagine there is a room within you, not a place you can see with your eyes, a room made of awareness and breath, a quiet room of breath. You arrive at its doorway with this next inhale. Feel the coolness at the tip of your nose, at the back of your throat. That gentle touch of air is the threshold, the place where outside ends and inside begins. As you breathe in, the door of this inner room swings open. As you breathe out, you step inside. The walls of this room are made of softness. They are not hard or sharp. They are more like the feeling of your chest gently rising. more like the slow widening of your ribs, then their easy return. Notice how your ribs move with the breath. They are the walls of this quiet room. They expand, then ease back. They hold the space where your breath lives. With every inhale, the room grows a little larger. There is more space inside your chest, inside your belly. With every exhale, the room settles, comfortable, dimension, unhurried. In this room, there is a watcher, a part of you that has been standing guard, listening for sounds, checking for problems, keeping track of thoughts. You can sense this watcher as a slight tension behind the eyes, a tiny lift in the shoulders, a readiness in the jaw or the tongue. The feeling of being poised even when you are lying still. Bring your next breath right to that place. Inhale gently toward the space behind your forehead. Exhale as if you are turning down a small lamp there. The watcher has been standing at the center of this room, alert, upright, scanning the corners. Now, with this next slow breath out, imagine a simple chair appears behind them. Soft, steady, exactly the right height. Your inhale reaches the watcher. Your exhale invites them to sit. Feel the tiny changes as this happens. The muscles around your eyes ease. Your brow smooths. The back of your head rests a little more fully into whatever is beneath it. The watcher looks around this quiet room of breath. The walls are calm. The air is slow and warm. Every sound is distant, muffled by softness. There is nothing urgent here. Your lungs move like curtains in a room with a gentle breeze. In, out, in, out. The watcher listens to this rhythm, and something in them understands. The work is done for now. As they sit down, your shoulders respond. Notice that. They may drop by just a fraction. The upper arms feel heavier, more at rest. The weight of your hands has its own quiet gravity. Breathe into the space across your collarbones. As you inhale, feel that space widen, like the room is taking a slow stretch. As you exhale, feel it soften, like fabric folding back into place. The watcher leans back in the chair. Their feet rest on the floor of this inner room. That floor is the steady rise and fall of your belly. Place your attention there now, on the gentle movement of your abdomen. Inhale. The floor of the room lifts just a little. Exhale. It settles back down, smooth and even. With each breath, the chair under the watcher feels more supportive. The back of the chair is the quiet length of your spine. From the base of your skull all the way down to the tailbone. One long, steady support. Sense that line now, not as bones or anatomy, just as a single, calm column of presence, the central beam of this quiet room. As you breathe in, imagine a soft light traveling down that column, from the back of your head, through the neck, between the shoulder blades, down through the middle of your back, all the way to the base of the spine. As you breathe out, that light becomes dimmer, warmer, more restful, like a lamp being turned low for the night. The watcher feels this soft light behind them. They no longer need to stand. They can simply rest against it, supported from behind. Nothing slipping, nothing straining. Notice the back of your rib cage now, how it meets the mattress or the pillow or the air. With each inhale, the back of the ribs presses gently outward. With each exhale, they return, as if hugging the room of breath a little closer. This is the quiet the watcher has been waiting for. A quiet that does not have to be protected. A quiet that holds itself. Move your awareness down to your diaphragm. You might not feel it clearly, and that is fine. Just sense the band of space under your ribs, above your stomach. Inhale. That band widens, like the room is taking in more air. Exhale. It narrows, like a soft belt loosening. Each breath is a slow, steady sweep through the room, dusting the corners, smoothing the floor, closing drawers that were left open. Thoughts may still pass through. They are like brief visitors at the door. The watcher sees them, nods, and stays seated. The door can stay half closed now. The breath is in charge of who comes and goes. Bring your attention to the small muscles around your mouth. Notice if the lips are pressed together or slightly held. On your next exhale, imagine the watcher unclenching their jaw, just a little. The tongue resting lower. The teeth no longer touching. This tiny release sends a message through the whole room. The ceiling softens. The corners blur. The air grows heavier, more like a gentle blanket than empty space. Your inhale now feels slower, rounder. It enters through the nose, travels down the throat, spreads through the chest. Your exhale feels longer, smoother, as if the room itself is sighing. The watcher's eyes begin to close, not a sharp closing, more like the way a door eases shut when there is no rush. A soft click at the end of the movement. Behind your own closed eyes, there is a kind of darkness that is not empty. It has depth. It has texture. It is the far wall of the quiet room. Breathe toward that darkness. Inhale. You feel its cool surface. Exhale. You feel it recede, making more space inside. The watcher, now seated, now leaning back, begins to drift at the edges. They can still hear the breath. They can still feel the steady column of the spine. But their sharpness is dissolving, like chalk lines in gentle rain. Your body answers this softening. The chest moves without effort. The belly follows. The muscles along the back release in small, almost invisible waves. With each breath, the quiet room of breath grows more complete. The walls are steady. The floor is soft. The ceiling hangs low and comforting. Everything that needed watching has been watched. Everything that needed checking has been checked. Now, the only task is this slow, simple rhythm. In, out, in, out. The watcher rests in the chair at the center of the room. Your body rests around them. Your breath moves through all of it. A gentle caretaker walking its slow circles through the night. Each exhale settles a little further inside. The outside world fades to the edges, like a door slowly swinging closed behind you, soft on its hinges. What remains is the quiet rhythm of your breathing, the rise, the fall, the gentle weight of your body resting where it is. With your next breath in, imagine you are standing at the threshold of a vast, calm library inside your mind. It is dim, but not dark. The light is low and warm, like lamps turned down for the night. Shelves stretch away in every direction, tall and steady, holding row upon row of books. The air is cool and still, with that faint, dry scent of paper and time. Your chest rises. Your chest falls. Each breath is a slow step deeper into this inner library. Your feet make no sound. The floor is smooth beneath you, and the silence here is gentle, not empty. It is the kind of quiet that holds things, rather than pushing them away. Notice the weight of your hands. Heavy, settled. In this library, they rest at your sides, or maybe along the spines of nearby books, fingertips just grazing the texture of the covers. Some are smooth, some slightly rough, some with raised letters that you could trace if you wished. Every book here is a thought, a worry, a memory, a plan, a question that once tugged at you in the dark. They live on these shelves now, in their own places, with their own covers closed. As you breathe in, your attention drifts to one long shelf at eye level. As you breathe out, you see that each spine has a title, written in your own quiet handwriting. You do not need to read them. It is enough to sense that they are here, contained. Another slow inhale. Your ribs expand like the slow opening of a book, pages parting, space being made. On the exhale, your ribs soften back, like a cover closing again, the story inside returning to stillness. You move along the aisle without hurry. Somewhere near your shoulders, tension begins to unfasten, like a heavy volume being slid back into place. Feel that small shift, as if a weight that was being carried in your muscles has finally found its shelf. There is a book for the thought that woke you tonight. You can sense it nearby, not urgent, just present, waiting on a shelf that is already strong enough to hold it. As your breath flows in, imagine your hand reaching out. You feel the thickness of the book, the gentle resistance as you pull it from the row. Your fingers support its spine. It has some weight to it, but it is manageable. On the exhale, you lower it to a reading table that appears beside you. The table is solid and worn smooth, like it has held many thoughts before. Your forearms rest there, heavy and relaxed, as if the table is taking some of the effort from your muscles. You do not need to open the book all the way. Perhaps you lift just the front cover with your breath in, enough to feel a whisper of pages inside. You can sense the story, the questions, the what-ifs, the lists, all of it written down, line after line, already captured. As you breathe out, the cover falls closed again with a soft, padded sound, not a slam, a settling. The thought has been written. It no longer needs to circle in your mind. It has a place. Your jaw loosens a little, like a clasp unhooked from a worn leather binding. The muscles around your mouth soften. Your tongue rests heavier in your mouth. You are not speaking these thoughts anymore. The books are doing that for you, silently. With your next inhale, feel the air move along the back of your throat, down into your chest. As it travels, It is as if you are walking further into the stacks, deeper into the quiet. The shelves rise higher here, and the books are older, more settled, their pages already at peace. On the exhale, your shoulders descend, as if you have just placed another book back where it belongs. A plan for tomorrow, a conversation replayed, a worry about something far away. Each one has its own volume, its own spine, its own home. You do not have to solve any of them right now. You are simply the librarian, moving slowly through the aisles, checking that everything is shelved and closed for the night. Feel the weight of your head where it rests. In this inner library, imagine your head leaning gently against the end of a shelf, the wood cool and steady against your temple. The support is absolute. You do not need to hold yourself upright. The shelves do that for you. They have always done that. Your breath moves in. Your chest widens, like sliding a book from the shelf, just far enough to see its title. Your breath moves out. Your chest narrows again, like easing it back into place, aligning its spine with the others so the row is straight and calm. Scan through your body now, as if you are walking one long aisle from one end of the library to the other. At your neck, notice any small tightness, like a book that was pulled halfway out and left there. With your inhale, acknowledge it. With your exhale, gently nudge it back into the row, flush with the rest. Muscles softening, vertebrae resting in their own quiet order. Across your upper back, imagine a whole section of heavy volumes, thick with old stories. Some of them have not been opened in years. Your breath moves across them like dusting, light and unhurried. On each out-breath, another bit of weight lifts from your muscles, as if a long day's worth of thoughts has been carefully re-shelved. Down at your chest and belly, the shelves are lower, closer to the ground. Each inhale is like bending down to place a book on a lower shelf, feeling the stretch along your back, the gentle expansion across your ribs. Each exhale is the moment you straighten again, empty-handed, that small relief as the weight leaves your arms. Your stomach softens. The muscles around it loosen, like a belt unbuckled from an overstuffed volume. Any knots there are just stories that have been held too tightly. Now, one by one, they slide into their slots, pages smoothing, covers closing. Notice the quiet behind your closed eyes. In that darkness, the library lights are dimming even further. One lamp here, one lamp there, pools of soft golden light on the floor, leaving the high shelves in a gentle shadow. The words in the books do not need bright light now. They are written. They can rest. Your legs feel heavier. In this inner place, it is as if you have walked the last aisle and reached the back wall. There is a deep, cushioned bench here, tucked between two towering shelves. You sink onto it, feeling the support along the length of your thighs, the way your calves release, the way your feet no longer need to carry you. Breath in. The library seems to expand around you, as if more space opens between the shelves, more room for all that has ever crossed your mind. Breath out. Everything draws a little closer again, snug and orderly. Nothing spilling out, nothing scattered on the floor. Think of one thought that has been especially loud tonight. You do not need to name it out loud. Just feel its shape, its pull. In your mind, see it as a book resting on the table beside you. Its cover is still open a crack, pages slightly fanned. With your next inhale, bring your hand toward it. Feel the curve of the cover under your fingers. With your exhale, press it gently closed. You might even imagine the soft thump as it meets the table, a small puff of air between the pages. The story inside stays exactly the same, but it no longer spills into this moment. It is contained now, edges aligned, waiting for a better time to be read. You are allowed to leave it there. You can even slide it to the edge of the table, where a small cart waits. A quiet place where unfinished thoughts can rest until morning. As your breath flows out, picture that cart rolling slowly away down the aisle, wheels whispering against the floor, carrying the closed book with it. Your chest eases. Your shoulders drift a little closer to the mattress. The muscles along your spine unclench, like a row of volumes finally pushed back into perfect alignment. All around you, in this library of your mind, the last small movements are happening. A cover here, closing with a soft click. A page there, smoothing itself flat. A spine straightening on the shelf. Your breathing is the final task of the night shift. In, out, a steady rhythm, like the turning of a key in a lock, one door at a time. Somewhere in the distance, a clock in this library marks the late hour, not with a loud chime, but with a simple knowing. It is time for the lights to dim, for the aisles to empty, for the thoughts to sleep in their bindings. You do not have to watch over them. They are stored, catalogued, easy to find when the sun is up again. For now, feel your body as the quiet reading room at the center of it all. Your head resting, your shoulders unwound, your arms and legs heavy and still. The shelves around you stand guard over every story, every worry, every unfinished sentence. They will hold them until morning. All you need to do is breathe here in this softly closing library while the covers draw shut and the words grow silent for the night. Each exhale settles the space around you a little more. The room is quiet, the world is distant, and somewhere, just behind your closed eyes, a different kind of place begins to appear. It starts with a faint silver line, as if a narrow corridor stretches out ahead of you, washed in moonlight. You are not rushing toward it. You are simply breathing. And with each slow breath, the corridor becomes a little clearer. Inhale, the coolness of night air. Exhale, the soft weight of your body resting where you are. The floor beneath your feet in this inner place feels solid and steady. Not cold, not warm. Just there, a quiet support that does not ask anything of you. You begin to walk. The steps are unhurried. Heel, then the soft roll of the foot, a gentle push, and the other foot follows. Your breath moves with this pace, like a slow, steady companion. Overhead, the ceiling of the corridor catches the moonlight. It glows in pale shades, as if the night sky has been drawn into long, smooth lines above you. No harsh light, no glare, only a soft silver that brushes the edges of your path. With each step, your awareness settles deeper into your body. Notice your ankles first. In this moonlit passage, they feel loose, unbound. Any tightness around them unwinds with the rhythm of your walk. The small muscles there no longer gripping, no longer holding you up. The corridor floor is doing that work now. Your calves follow the same quiet rhythm. As you imagine each step, they lengthen and soften. The muscles that might have been braced, even while you lie here, begin to uncoil, as though the moonlight itself is smoothing its cool hand along the back of your legs. You walk past a long wall on your right. Its surface is pale and still, like stone that has known many nights. The moonlight slides along it in a thin, glowing strip that moves gently as you move. There is a comfort in that repetition. Step, glow, step, glow. Your breath continues its own simple pattern. In through the nose, slow and easy. Out through the mouth or the nose, whatever feels softer. Each exhale like another quiet footprint in this corridor, fading behind you as soon as it lands. Your knees feel light. They do not need to lock or brace. They bend with your slow, dreamlike steps. Any stiffness there begins to melt, as though the joints are bathed in the same silver light that fills this hallway. Ahead, the corridor stretches on, patient and calm. There is no need to reach the end. The walking itself is enough. Feel the weight of your thighs now. In this inner movement, they are both strong and relaxed. You can sense the broad muscles releasing, like doors swinging gently open. With each step, they loosen their grip, handing their effort over to the steady ground beneath you. The air in the corridor has that quiet, late-night coolness. Not a chill, just a soft reminder that the world is resting. It touches your skin lightly, especially around your face and arms, and then drifts away again. On the inhale, you gather that coolness in. On the exhale, you send out warmth. Your hips sway with the slow rhythm of your walk. Not much, just a subtle side-to-side motion that keeps you balanced. Any tension buried deep in those larger muscles begins to ease. It is as if the corridor itself is wide enough, generous enough, to give your hips space to soften and settle. The moonlight ahead deepens, becoming almost velvety. It pools on the floor in patches, like pale islands of quiet. You step through them one by one. Each patch of light a small pause, a small release, before the next gentle step. Feel the base of your spine. Imagine that with every step forward in this corridor, the spine grows a little heavier in a comforting way. Vertebra by vertebra, it sinks toward the center of the earth, supported, cradled by the floor of your real bed, even as your inner self keeps walking. Your shoulders begin to follow this downward flow. They no longer need to lift or hover or brace. With each breath out, they drop a fraction closer to the mattress beneath you. In the corridor, they roll back slightly, easy and unforced, as if the moonlit air is smoothing out the fabric of your posture. Your hands hang loosely by your sides in this inner walk. Fingers soft, palms open to the night. You might even feel a faint tingle in them, a sign that the muscles are unwinding, that blood is moving more freely. They swing with your steps in a lazy arc, like pendulums that have forgotten how to rush. The walls of the corridor are quiet companions. On one side, a long stretch that holds the light. On the other, shadows deepen, not as something to fear, but as a soft place where light can rest. The contrast between them feels steadying, like the rise and fall of your chest. Your breath continues to guide the pace. Inhale, a step forward. Exhale, the foot settles, the body softens. Inhale, another step. Exhale, another release. Your chest feels a little wider now, as if the corridor has opened that space, gently, without effort. The ribs move with the breath like slow, quiet doors, opening and closing on a room that is filled with calm night air. Your throat relaxes as you move. The small muscles there, so often tight without you noticing, begin to loosen. The tongue rests heavier in your mouth. The jaw unhooks from its old patterns of clenching. In the moonlit corridor, your face wears the expression of someone who has finally set down a heavy bag. The ceiling above you dips slightly, then rises again, like the curve of your breath. You walk under these soft arches of light and shadow, feeling their rhythm echo the movement of your lungs. Up and down, in and out. With each step, the corridor grows quieter. Not because it was loud before, but because your inner world is settling. Thoughts that once crowded close begin to fall behind you, like faint footprints that the night gently smooths away. You do not have to follow any thought that tries to tug at your sleeve. If one appears, you notice it, and then take another slow step forward. The corridor continues, patient, unbroken. Your forehead softens. The small lines that gather there in waking hours lose their shape. In this moonlit walk, your brow is smooth, untroubled. The space behind your eyes feels wide and dim, like the far end of the hallway, where the light fades into a gentle blur. Listen, in your imagination, for the sound of your own footsteps. They are barely there, a soft, padded whisper with each step. That whisper matches the sound of your breath, a quiet back and forth that lulls the mind. The corridor may pass by narrow windows high above you. Through them, the moon sends its silver down in slender beams. They cross your path at angles, striping the floor in gentle light. Sometimes your steps fall in the light, sometimes in the shadow. Both feel equally peaceful. Your whole body is part of this walk now. Feet, legs, hips, spine, shoulders, arms, neck, face, all moving together in the simplest pattern. Step and soften. Breathe in, breathe out. There is nowhere you must arrive. The corridor is long enough to hold every slow step you might take. It curves slightly, just enough that you cannot see its end. And that is a comfort. You are free to keep walking or to pause and stand in one pool of moonlight as long as you wish. As your inner self continues this gentle movement, your physical body can grow heavier, quieter, more still. The more you walk in that silver corridor, the more your muscles here sink into rest. The mattress receives your weight. The pillow cradles your head. The blankets hover around you like the walls of this hallway, keeping the night soft and close. Breath by breath, step by step, you drift deeper into that corridor of moonlight. Each exhale a footprint, each inhale a new piece of quiet. And as you move there, slowly, steadily, the edge of sleep draws closer, walking toward you along the same silent path. The room around you grows quieter. Edges soften, shapes blur. Each exhale widens the space you're in, as if the walls are slowly breathing out with you, loosening, releasing their outlines. The ceiling above you begins to lose its weight. It lightens, becomes less a solid surface, and more a deep, open dark. Somewhere in that dark, a first small point of light appears. Not bright, not demanding, just a tiny star, barely there, quietly steady. Your body rests where it is, and the room begins to tilt into sky. Corners fade, straight lines soften. The familiar shapes around you grow distant like memories of furniture rather than objects. Another star joins the first, then another. They do not hurry. They arrive the way thoughts sometimes appear, when you are almost asleep. Quietly, without introduction, already fading at the edges. The air has its own coolness now. Not cold, just a gentle night temperature. The kind of cool that makes blankets feel deeper, more welcoming. Above that warmth, the dark stretches further and further, a vast, soft distance. Your eyes may be closed or half closed. It makes no difference. The room is becoming something wider than sight can hold. The ceiling dissolves into a velvet black, and the black is full of patient stars. You can sense the floor beneath you. Like a small, steady planet, it carries your weight without effort. Everything you are touching belongs to this one small world. Mattress, pillow, sheet, gently orbiting in the middle of an endless night. Far beyond, the stars keep multiplying. Some are sharp and clear, some are faint like the memory of a light. They hang at different distances, some close, some unimaginably far, yet all of them easy to be with. Time stretches out between those points of light. Moments lengthen. Seconds grow spacious, as if they too are drifting in orbit unhurried, without a schedule to meet. Thoughts may still move through. They pass like dim satellites, crossing the sky of your mind in slow arcs. You can watch them glide from one side to the other, small, contained, soon disappearing into the dark again. The darkness around you is not empty. It holds you the way a night sky holds its stars. No pressure, no grip, just a vast, steady presence that knows how to support what floats within it. You might notice the gentle pull of gravity at the back of your head, your shoulders, your hips. Each point of contact is like a tiny constellation drawn on the surface of your small planet. The rest of you drifts upward, weightless, into the wide quiet above. Some stars pulse very softly, a slow, almost breathing rhythm. They brighten a little on your inhale, dim a little on your exhale, as if the whole sky were breathing with you, matching your pace without effort. In this dark, distances are kind. Things that once felt close and loud move farther away. They take their place on the outer edges of the sky, still existing, but so far off that their shapes are hard to make out. The night around you has a texture, soft as velvet but deeper than fabric. If you could reach your hand into it, your fingers would pass through cool, quiet space. That goes on and on. Your body knows where it ends, and yet the boundaries are hazy now. The outline of your arms, your legs, your face grows less certain, as though you are made of the same gentle darkness that fills the room-turned sky. A cluster of stars gathers somewhere above your chest, not on your body, but in the space just beyond it. They shimmer in a slow, irregular pattern, like a thought that is almost forming, then chooses to rest instead. You do not have to name any of these lights. You do not have to understand where they are or what they mean. They are simply there, existing in their own quiet way, far beyond the reach of urgency. Some stars are so distant. Their light left long ago and only now reaches you. Old worries can feel like that. Echoes from another time still arriving even though their moment has passed. You can watch them the way you'd watch ancient starlight, interested for a moment, then gently looking away. The darkness between the stars is just as important. It is thick with stillness. It cradles each point of light, keeps them separate, gives them room. That same dark seems to fill the space. Between one heartbeat and the next, between one breath and the one that follows, your sense of up and down begins to blur. There is no ceiling, no floor, only the small world beneath you, and the endless night all around. You might feel as if you are lying on your back. In the very center of the sky, the universe stretching out equally in every direction. Far below, the idea of Earth is just a distant sphere quietly turning. Cities and roads and clocks are tiny patterns on its surface, too small to reach you here. From this height, they are just faint glows like faraway constellations on another layer of night. The space around your head feels especially wide. Thoughts that used to crowd close now have miles and miles to roam. They drift outward, thinning as they go, until they are no more than faint specks among countless other specks. Somewhere off to one side, a slow-moving comet of attention appears. A brief awareness of something you meant to do, something unfinished. It travels in a long, gentle curve, its tail of details trailing behind it, then slides out of sight, into the limitless dark. You are not trying to hold on to anything here. The night sky holds it all for you. Stars, planets, forgotten plans, half-formed dreams. Each finds its own orbit, its own distance without you needing to arrange them. Breath by breath, the space between you and everything else widens. Not in a lonely way, but in a peaceful one. Like standing in the middle of a vast field of stars, each one exactly where it needs to be, none of them pressing in. The room, once small and familiar, has become an endless dome of night. Your bed is a quiet vessel, floating in that dark, barely moving, held in place by an invisible, gentle pull. If a thought appears now, it is just another flicker in the distance. It may brighten for a moment, then soften, then dim, until it is only a memory of light against the deep, steady dark. The sky above, the sky around, and the quiet world beneath you all share the same stillness. You rest in the middle of it, a single point of awareness, in an infinite, unhurried night. The air around you is very still now, quiet and soft at the edges. Somewhere in this quiet, the room you are in begins to feel lighter, not gone, just less solid. Your body rests where it is, and at the same time, a gentler version of you begins to rise. It is as if the mattress has learned a new trick. Instead of only holding you from below, it slowly learns how to hold you from all sides, under you, around you, like a hammock that remembers the exact shape of your body and lifts it. The pull of the bed is still there, the familiar weight of your heels, the curve of your shoulders, but there is also this other sensation, a lightness, as though the fabric beneath you has become a quiet swing, suspended in the middle of the room. You do not have to imagine it clearly, just a suggestion is enough. A sense that the floor is a little farther away, that the corners of the room are drifting down while you stay gently cradled above them. The air has its own texture here, soft like worn cotton, cool enough to feel clean, warm enough that you never need to brace against it. There is no effort in staying where you are. The invisible ropes of this hammock or this nest hold without strain. You are carried by something that never gets tired. Above you, the ceiling becomes less of a boundary, more like a sky someone painted in muted colors and then forgot about. The light is dim and even. No glare, nothing sharp. You float between the floor and that soft sky. Not high, just enough that the rules of weight feel looser, as if gravity has turned down its volume. Thoughts may still move through. They can be like small birds gliding beneath you from one side of the room to the other. You see them pass, their shapes, their little flutters. They keep going because there is nothing here for them to perch on. Your body, in this suspended place, has fewer edges. The outline of your legs blurs into the woven cradle that holds you. The line of your back melts into the gentle curve that supports it. Where you end and the nest begins is hard to say. The fabric under you might feel slightly warm where you've been resting. It remembers your temperature. It remembers your weight. It adjusts, without comment, each time your breath moves your ribs. Each exhale makes the hammock sink a fraction of an inch. Barely anything. Just enough to feel like a sigh in fabric form. Then it rises again, almost imperceptibly, as the inhale returns. Around you, the room becomes a quiet sky of its own. Walls are just distant clouds, holding their place. They are there, but they do not lean in. They simply hang, pale and still, in the background. You are between these clouds, between the floor that has drifted down and the ceiling that has drifted up. Suspended in the middle layer, the in-between air, time softens here. It stretches out like a slow swing, moving so gently you cannot say whether it is going forward or back. Moments blend at the edges, like threads in the same piece of cloth. You might sense the faintest motion, not spinning, not falling, just a long, slow rock from one side to the other. The kind of movement that never quite reaches an end before it turns around again. If a thought tries to measure this, to name it, it fades before it finishes the sentence. Words do not hold very well in this middle air. They slip and drift and dissolve into quiet. The room below you continues its own sleep. Furniture resting in their places. Objects keeping their shapes without needing your attention. They are like houses seen from above, tiny and still, with their own private dreams. Your awareness hovers above them in this cushioned space, supported from every side. Nothing hard to push against, nothing urgent to reach for. You are allowed to forget where the floor is, to forget exactly how far the ceiling might be. Distances do not matter much when you are being held in the middle. If you notice your mind trying to drop back down into details, the hammock simply rises a little higher, not to escape anything. Just enough so that the sharpness of those details softens again. They become outlines seen through a thin, gentle fog. The air here carries a faint, comforting scent, like fabric warmed by a quiet afternoon, like a favorite blanket that has been hanging in the sun, now cooled to the perfect temperature. Your hands, wherever they rest, feel looser. The fingers uncurl, not because they must, but because there is nothing to hold on to, nothing to grip. The nest beneath them is already doing all the holding that needs to be done. Even your face feels slightly lifted by this invisible cradle. The muscles along your jaw soften, as if a small, unseen cushion has risen to meet them. The space between your eyebrows smooths. The skin around your eyes grows heavy and light at the same time. Here, between the rooms, between the surfaces, you are neither up nor down, neither fully awake nor fully gone. You are in the pause between steps, the breath between thoughts. If a memory floats by, it can drift above you like a cloud that never quite forms a shape. You sense it. You do not need to follow it. Clouds move on their own. The nest, or the hammock, or the soft cloud bed you rest in, has its own quiet intelligence. It knows how to sway just enough to match your breathing. It knows how to deepen its curve under the parts of you that still hold on. It knows how to lighten around the places that are already drifting. You do not have to guide it. You do not have to decide anything. The structure that holds you understands weight and rest better than any thought could. The room, the sky ceiling, the faraway floor, all agree to keep their distance. They circle around your floating place like gentle planets around a soft star. Nothing collides, nothing presses in. In this in-between, even the idea of you becomes softer, less like a solid shape, more like a warm presence resting in a cradle of air. The edges of your day have already slipped downward into the room below. The edges of your sleep are just above you, like a higher, quieter nest waiting in the dim sky. You hover between them, rocked by something older than thinking. If sleep wants to come now, it will find you easily. You are right here, suspended in its path, barely moving, barely needing to. The hammock continues its slow, nearly imaginary sway. The air continues to hold its gentle, even temperature. The room continues to soften at the edges. And you, floating between these rooms, between these layers, can simply rest in the middle of it all, carried, weightless enough to drift, heavy enough to stay. The weight of your body has its own quiet story tonight, heavy in some places, barely there in others. Somewhere just behind your closed eyes, a new space begins to take shape. Not out in the world, not far away, very close. It begins as a simple outline, 4 corners, a ceiling, a floor, only one room, just one. It's not big or small. It's exactly the size it needs to be for now. You don't have to see every detail. You can sense it instead. The way the air in that room feels still. The way sound softens at the edges in there. Each exhale gives that room a little more structure. A wall becomes a little more solid. The floor steadies. This is a room meant for holding things, not fixing them, not sorting them, just holding. Imagine the door, closed for the moment, quiet. Outside that door there are all the thoughts that have been circling, the half-finished plans, the what-ifs, the small worries that somehow grew louder in the dark. They do not need to stay pressed up against you. They can have somewhere else to be. The room is ready, waiting. You might picture it as softly lit or almost dark. Maybe there's a gentle, steady dimness, like late evening that never quite turns to night. The walls are plain, nothing written on them, nothing asking for your attention. In the middle of the room, there is an open space, a kind of quiet center. Around that center, there are shelves, or perhaps low benches, simple places where things can be set down. The air inside is steady and mild, not cold, not warm, just neutral, like the feeling of a smooth stone held in your hand. As you breathe out, imagine the door of that room opening just a crack, not swinging wide, just enough. One thought steps forward, maybe the loudest one, the one that keeps returning. You don't need to name it, you don't need to understand it. All that matters is this: it does not have to stay in your chest. Picture that thought as something you can gently hold. A folded note, a small object, something with edges, with a size, with a weight that can be carried. You bring it to the doorway of the room. You set it just inside. The floor receives it. No reaction, no judgment. It simply rests there. The door stays open. The room is not full. There is space. Another thought appears, maybe softer, maybe tangled with others. Again, it becomes something you can place. You might imagine it as a small box, or a loose thread gathered into a coil. You don't have to untie it. You just carry it to that room. Set it on a shelf. The shelf holds its weight easily. This is what it was built for. Outside the room, in your body, something loosens. Your jaw, your shoulders, the small muscles around your eyes. They have been trying to hold everything up. They don't need to tonight. Breath by breath, more pieces arrive. A memory from earlier today, a worry about tomorrow, a sentence that keeps repeating. Each one becomes something you can move. A small package, a folded piece of cloth, a smooth stone with words carved too tiny to read. You carry them one by one to the room. You don't rush. There is no line, no deadline. The room does not mind how many you bring. Its corners deepen. Its shelves quietly adjust. You might notice that some things feel too big to carry. A whole situation. A feeling without a name. For those, the room itself shifts. The walls stretch a little. The ceiling rises. That larger thing can simply slide toward the doorway, the way a heavy suitcase rolls when you nudge it. You guide it with the lightest touch. It crosses the threshold, and then it is in there, not gone, just not on you. The door remains gently open. The air inside the room holds steady. You can sense all those stored pieces now, arranged, contained, not crowding you, not pressing at your ribs or behind your eyes. They are in their one room, the only room they need. Your bed, your body, your breath are outside that room, in a different place entirely. Feel the difference. Here, where you are lying, the space is simple, just the weight of your head, the pull of gravity on your arms, the slow rhythm of your breathing. There is a gentle distance now between you and everything in that room. A hallway of quiet, a few steps of stillness. If something tries to drift back toward you, that's all right. You know the way now. You can always walk it back. Pick it up in whatever form it takes. Carry it easily to the doorway. Place it inside. The room never complains, never asks why. It simply holds. You might notice, as more things move into that room, that time begins to blur a little. It's harder to tell what was from today, what was from years ago, what might be from tomorrow. In the room, they are all just items on shelves. Objects on the floor, quiet shapes in the dimness. They don't call out. They don't argue. They simply exist, paused. You can almost hear the soft hush of that space, the way sound would feel if it could lie down and rest. Here, where you are, outside the room, there is more emptiness now. Not the empty of loss, the empty of a table cleared after a long day, surfaces wiped clean. Nothing demanding to be moved. Your thoughts thin out, like guests who have all stepped into another room to talk among themselves. Their voices muffled by the door. You are left with the simple, steady presence of your own breathing. In, out. The door to the room can stay slightly open. Or, if it feels right, you can imagine it closing, gently, without a click, just a soft meeting of edges. Everything inside remains held, waiting for a brighter time, a waking time. You do not have to remember what you placed there. The room remembers for you. If, in the morning, anything is still needed, it will be right where you left it, unchanged, intact. For now, that room exists so that this space around your body can be simple and quiet. Notice how your limbs feel heavier when they are not carrying stories. How your chest feels when it is not a storage place. Just a gentle rise and fall. The mattress beneath you supports your weight without question. The fabric touches your skin and then forgets about it. Nothing is asking anything of you here. Thoughts may still drift by, but they are lighter now. They know there is a place they can go, a single room that will take them in. If one catches your attention, you can nod to it, the way you might nod to someone passing in a hallway. Then guide it to the room. Place it down, step back. Over time, the distance between you and that doorway grows softer, hazier, like seeing something across a quiet courtyard at dusk. The details of the room blur, but its presence remains. A steady container somewhere just beyond the edge of sleep. Here, on this side of the door, your body rests in its own small universe of warmth and weight. Breath moves, muscles slacken, the line between waking and dreaming thins. Only one room is needed to hold what once kept you awake, and it is already doing its work. You can drift now in the space that's left, spacious, unburdened, dim and quiet as an empty hallway at night. The room holds what it holds, and you sink a little deeper into the dark, soft space that remains. The sound has been growing softer for a while now. You can feel that, like a music box that has almost finished its song. Each breath is another slow turn of the key, gentle, not all the way, just enough for one more line of melody. Around you, the house is settling into its own kind of silence. The last notes of the day have already been played. What remains is the faint echo, fading at the edges. Somewhere in the background of your mind, the tune that kept you awake is unwinding. The pattern loosens. The rhythm that once felt tight and bright now drifts, softer, farther away. Each exhale is like the music box winding down. The spring inside is less tense. The sound grows rounder, slower, more distant. You might notice how the quiet has a texture now, thicker than before, like the air is padded with the memory of sound that has just finished, still humming, but only in the most delicate way. The house holds that hush. Walls, ceiling, floor, all listening to the last thin threads of music, not asking for more, just receiving what is left. Thoughts that used to arrive like sharp little notes are losing their edges. They blur at the corners. They forget the tune they were trying to play. You do not have to follow any of them. They can rise like single stray chimes, then fade back into the general quiet. The melody of this night is almost over. Not in a sudden stop. More like a candle that has already burned low, with just a small steady glow at the wick. Your body feels that same slowing. The way your shoulders rest. The way your jaw no longer holds its own sound. No more silent clenching. Even your tongue rests heavier in your mouth, like it has put down a long conversation. Somewhere deep inside, the little gears of alertness click once, then pause. They are not broken. They are simply done turning for now. Every breath in brushes across what remains of the music. Every breath out smooths it down, quiets it further. Like a thumb gently over old piano keys, not to play them, just to feel that they are still. The house listens with you. Pipes, wires, beams, all in their night position. No more bright hum, no more daytime clatter. Only the soft, low murmur of things at rest. Even the silence has layers. The larger, open quiet of the room. The smaller, closer quiet under your blanket. And the tiniest quiet of all, right behind your ribs, where the last notes are curling in on themselves. You are allowed to drift with those final tones, not holding them, not trying to remember the song, just being there as it finishes. The music box inside you does not need to be wound again tonight. It has done enough. It can sit, lid closed, spring loose, tune forgotten until morning. If a thought tries to start another song, it runs out of notes quickly. Maybe one or two. Then nothing to follow, nothing to build on. Just a soft return to the low hum of the house. The darkness in the room feels like the pause between tracks. Not empty, just waiting. Not for you to act, only for you to rest within it. Here, in this almost silence, time stretches. The edges of minutes blur, like sound held too long on a single string. Then that, too, dissolves. No effort is needed, no decision. The day has already closed itself. The night is already playing its final quiet bar. Breath in. A tiny, fading chime. Breath out. The chime disappears into the walls, into the mattress, into the dark. Soon, even the idea of music is too loud. What remains is a soft, steady nothing. A room with the lights out, a house that has finished singing to itself. You are here, in that hush, held by it, listening to a song that has already ended. And as the last invisible note hangs, thins, and slips away, there is only this deep, simple quiet. And now, the house of your night is quiet. All the doors are closed. All the lights are dim. Everything that needed tending has been tended. Everything that wanted a place has found one. Nothing is moving very much anymore. Just the soft rise and fall of your own breathing. Slow, easy. Thoughts may still wander at the edges. They can do that without disturbing anything. They can drift like faint echoes in another room, already fading as they arrive. You do not need to follow them. You can simply notice that they are far away now. The hours outside will keep turning on their own. You do not have to meet them yet. For now, there is only this small, quiet space, held between one breath and the next. The house of your night knows how to keep watch. It knows how to stand still in the dark, walls resting, floors resting, windows resting. Everything that belongs to the day is sleeping where it is. Nothing is calling for you. If a thought comes that feels bright, you can let it soften at the edges like a voice speaking through a closed door, heard and already slipping away. There is nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Just this gentle sinking, this easy loosening, muscles unwinding without effort, jaw soft, eyes heavy behind closed lids, breath moving in, breath moving out, again and again. Each breath a little quieter, a little deeper inside the hush. If words feel too full now, you can let them thin out. Just simple sounds, soft thoughts, almost nothing at all. The night is holding its own silence. You are resting inside it. Even if sleep comes slowly, you are already in the place it will find you, already low to the ground, already quiet. You are allowed to drift in and out, to forget what was just said, to not finish any of it. Everything can stay unfinished. Everything can wait. Here, in this dim and gentle house, you are the one thing that does not need to try. Just breathing, just lying here. The mind can keep loosening its grip finger by finger until it is only an open hand in the dark. Nothing to hold, nothing to keep. Only the soft weight of your own body settled where it is. If a fragment of the day appears, it can pass like a shadow across a closed curtain, not entering, not staying. The quiet underneath has been here all along, patient, unmoved. You are simply noticing it now, leaning back into it, letting it rise up around you. Breath in, breath out. A little slower, a little softer. Thoughts further away, body heavier. The house of your night is very still. Everything inside it is held. You can rest here as long as you like, with or without sleep. Eyes closed, mind dimming. Words are almost finished now. Only a few small ones left. Just enough to keep you company, for one more breath and one more, until even they grow quiet and the space between them widens, and there is only the hush of your own breathing and the deep, gentle silence that is already carrying you down and down into the soft, waiting dark, where nothing more needs to be said.